both your mind and your bedroom have something pretty big in common. And you can probably guess it just based off the fact that I said your bedroom, but if something is a mess, it's hard to find things. If you walk into your room and you got shit everywhere, and there's just things all over the floor, not just clothes, but like trash, all kinds of things all over your room, and you go to search for something, it's going to be difficult to find whatever you're looking for. It's kind of like when you were a kid and you would dig through your backpack and it was all messy, and you couldn't ever find whatever paper you're looking for. Or, if you're someone like me and I put a lot of stuff in my trunk, and even if I've got all the stuff organized in my trunk, there's so many things in there that it's so hard to find things. And as of right now, it is not organized back there, but it makes it difficult to find things, because there's so much other clutter and shit in the trunk. So if I'm trying to search for something to see if I have something, I don't know for sure if I have it or not, because there's so many other things, and there's a good chance I'm just going to end up glancing over it, and you put stuff back there, you're like, oh, well, I don't want to take this out of the car because I want to keep that. This might be useful one day, and maybe those things are useful one day, but most of the time they're not, and they end up causing just a more difficult time than they need to. And the same thing goes for your mind. If you've got 1,000,001 things on your plate, if you're thinking about 1,000,000 things, if you're trying to focus on going to the gym, if you're trying to focus on getting up earlier, improving your hygiene, getting your training more on point, getting your diet more on point, but you're also trying to focus on going out, having fun, trying to find a new relationship, trying to find new friendships, trying to do this and that, you've got so many different things going on at once. And you have so many things going on at once that contradict each other, that it makes it so difficult to actually find what you're looking for. And then you end up wasting your time because you wanted to keep all these things around because you're like, oh, well, I might need this, I might need that. That'd be a great thing to keep. And maybe it would be, but it ends up just causing more damage in the short term. And even in the long term, it ends up causing more damage because it just gets in the way and it blocks you from being able to get to what you need to. And the same thing goes for your mind. If you're not, if all you're doing is eating fast food and just all this processed bullshit, you're not even going to the gym. I mean, you're not going to be able to think straight. You've got so many things in your life that are just contradicting each other. You're trying to start to better yourself, but you're not cleaning up the clutter, and you're not cleaning up the mess. That way you can think more clearly. And if you think more clearly, not only are you going to have, a better direction of where to go, but you're also it's going to be easier to tell yourself that that you're going in the right direction. And it's going to be easier to remember the direction you're going and to remember how to stay going into that direction. But if it's all a mess, your mind you get confused. And you feel conflicted and you don't know what to do. And you kind of get stuck in the position you're in. And then there's all these different options. I could do this, that, and next thing you know, you don't know what the best road is to take. You don't know what the best thing is to do because you've got so much stuff piled up. And now you're not making any progress. You see how it doesn't add up? Versus if you were to clean out those things, stop keeping the stuff you don't need to keep. Start being more consistent. That's the stuff that might seem like, oh, but it's so much extra work. But the thing about those things that might feel like extra work are the things that are going to get you on your track, that are going to get you dialed, that are going to get you to finally realize and accept that you need to get rid of a bunch of bad habits and a bunch of things in your life that are not serving you. And then that's going to free up even more space. So now you've improved your life, gotten in better shape, you're healthier, you've got rid of habits that aren't serving you, you realize that they actually weren't benefiting you and that they were making things worse. So now things are even better because you've gotten rid of those habits. No brainer, dude. You know, it's kind of a simple concept. But it's, with it being simple, that makes it easy to understand, which makes it a lot easier to apply. And you're still going to have to discipline yourself. You're still going to have to constantly remind yourself each and every day that you got to do it. And you got to push yourself through. But you also got to play the long game and play your cards right. And doing certain things are not going to make you win the hand. You know, you're trying to place a bet with a hand or whatever, and you're trying to win that bet without analyzing the hand and choosing what card is the best card to pick. Why? You're not going to win if you don't analyze what the best thing is to win. You know, and you don't want to sit there and analyze it forever and then just be like, oh, but this, that. Like, analyze things, make your choice, and move forward. And constantly keep going. Because over time, you're going to get better and better at analyzing things. You're going to do it quicker. And you're going to be able to get to the next spot faster. You're going to be able to get to the next level faster. All because you started cleaning things up. And that means physically too, like actually cleaning your room. But if you don't, why? What are you waiting for? And nothing's going to change that's going to make it become easier. You're not going to wake up one day and suddenly it's going to become easier. The only thing that's going to happen is you're going to wake up one day and the pain is going to be so great that it hurts too much to stay at the current position you're in. So therefore, that means all you're really doing is waiting for it to hurt you more. So why not just start now to start fixing the problem? The problem can't be fixed if you don't diagnose the problem and then fix the problem. Your buddy brings his car to you, says it's leaking. You're like, okay, where's it leaking from? I don't know, but fix it. Okay, let me check it out. No. Just make the leak stop. Well, I don't know where it's leaking from. Just make the leak stop. Okay, well, let me check out the car, figure out where it's leaking from. No, don't check it out. Just make it stop. You're like, how do I fix a leak without looking where the leak is? You can't. It makes no logical sense. clean up your room, clean your mind, start doing something today. It's not that hard. I believe in you. I mean, all you got to do is do it. All you got to do is just start doing the thing. Start doing the thing. Stop waiting so long. You're inflicting more hurt on yourself for no reason. Like, why? Why do you want to continue making yourself hurt? You can better your life so much. You can improve so many things. You can shift your perspective in life and get to the point where even when you feel you're in your deepest, darkest moments, you still see things as a lesson and a learning opportunity. And in that in that way, since you can't fail, you just keep going, and you can't ever get there unless you just do the thing and push through. You can't. Like, man, you know, a great way I always tell people when I'm trying to get them to start doing something, and specifically start going to the gym or start waking up earlier, start eating healthier, is I explain it like this. When you have something that you need to do that you don't want to do, and you know that it's good for you, you have the choice to put it off. And when you take that choice to put it off, you're accepting that you're putting it off, and you know that. And the longer you wait, the more you're accepting that you're putting it off. And when you finally decide that you have to actually do the thing, all that time that, you were accepting that you were putting it off, but you weren't really at the same time. You were making a lot of excuses for the reason you were putting it off. So you thought you were accepting, but it's more so of, you were accepting what the excuses were telling you. And as soon as you finally make that choice to start going to the gym, and this applies for anything, but as soon as you make that choice to start going to the gym, you now have to accept that all those times that you said that you weren't going to go was, one, you being lazy, and two, a big waste of time. You have to accept that, you could have started, and you could be so much further forward, but you're not because you put it off. And you have to accept that you starting now makes all that time you wasted pointless. And it makes now even more difficult. So what do most people do? They choose to put it off more and more. And the more they put that off, the stronger that builds. So now it finally gets to this point where it's built up so much that you have this just insane ball of anxiety, and you feel like you're almost going psychotic, and you're like, holy shit, my life is falling apart in front of me. And now you have to finally accept that all that time was just a waste of time. All that time that you put in that you didn't put in, it is causing this stress. And that is something that is really difficult to accept. And that's also why, it goes the same thing for like why the older you get, the more difficult it gets, because you have more and more time that you have to disregard, and you have to accept that you were wrong. You try to get someone that's 45 years old to finally start going to the gym, dude, you know how many years they have to accept that they were wasting of their life not going to the gym? Insane. That's like reality shattering. I mean, that really breaks a person. But at the same time, you have to learn somehow. And sometimes that's what it takes to actually teach you that that's the reason you can't put things off. And I want to understand this unless that's the position that I have been in. And that's where I was. And that's where I still partially am, is the realization that I wasted so much time, and I could be so much further forward if I would have just started. If I would have started so much earlier, I would be so much further forward, and I could have accomplished so much more already. And I've still accomplished a very good amount. But that I could have accomplished so much more. But that's, once again, at the same time, if I would have started earlier, I wouldn't have had this realization on my own. And I didn't have anybody to tell me this. No, I never saw any sort of video that explained this. I never had a person that had actual life talks with me that explained these things. Because people like to just run away from their problems. Because it's difficult. And if I would have realized, that all this time was all that time that I wasted could have been pushing me forward, man, I would be so much further forward. But I'm still thankful for how things played out, because it has still taught me so much more, and I am now ready to push even more, do even more, and be even more. And I'm now in a position where I can show other people and try to help other people understand the same thing. Because to have to spend years to figure that out, it's not a fun thing, and it tears you down. And if you can understand it from somebody explaining it, then I mean that's the value of that is immense. There's so many things that if someone would have explained to me sooner, that it would have changed so much. But you can't dwell in the past, and we're here, and this is today, and the only thing I can do is move forward more, work harder, better myself, accomplish my goals, make more money, buy the cars I want to buy. Like I'm never gonna buy myself an AMG GTR if I just sit in my room and sleep all day and do nothing. I'm only gonna do that if I work hard, grow my business, and make shit work. Work out more in the gym. Focus on getting my sleep more on point. Make sure I'm eating better. Make sure I'm staying on top of tracking every little ounce of my macros. And you don't have to track every single little ounce of your macros when you first start. But if you're never going to get there unless you start doing some of it. Unless you start writing down, dude, even when the way I started tracking my macros in the beginning was when I would go to the grocery store to meal prep, I would just go on my notes on my phone and write out like all the macros, and pretty much basically I would write out the calories and the protein on a note sheet and just calculate that for the week and be like, okay, I'm gonna eat these calories, you know, and I know that I can eat this food and this will be, you know, I'll hit my proper protein goal, a gram per pound of body weight, and it'll be in the proper amount of calories that I decided that I wanted to eat, and I'll be good. And I can have my one cheat meal a week, and I'll be good. And I started it like that. And I did that for months. And then eventually I was like, okay, you know, this worked out great in the beginning, but now I've got to do a little more. I got to start actually tracking them. Got to start actually writing the shit down. Because if you're in a specific growth phase or a specific cut phase or even a recomp phase, you know, if you're in a specific phase, you want to be tracking your shit. That way you know what's happening and you have data to analyze. But if you got no data to analyze, then you don't know, you know, you don't know what's happening. It's like sending it's like asking your tuner to update your tune and you don't send him a data log. He's going to be like, you're like, okay, I did a pull and it's not boosting enough and it's misfiring. Things that are going on with my Subaru right now. If I just message my tuner and be like, yo, fix this, he's like, okay, send me the data log. And I'm like, no. He's like, I can't tune your car unless you send me the data log and show me the details. Show me what's going on. You know, so it's the same thing for your dieting. You're not going to exactly know what's going on unless you're tracking your shit. And if you just start out small, start out writing it down in your notes once a week. Eat more protein. You'll figure it out. It's not really that difficult. And these things are going to clean up your mind. These things are going to allow you to organize your thoughts so much better and allow you to do so much more, have more energy, focus more, be more mentally clear. Why wouldn't you want that? You know, it's you can do so much more if you put the work in. And the more you put the work in, the better it feels. The more it reduces your anxiety. The reason you're getting so much anxiety all the time and stress about life is because you're not doing the thing. And if you start stressing out about, oh, I need to go to the gym and I need to go to work and I gotta go to bed and I gotta eat, and it's like you start, you know, kind of getting stuck in analysis paralysis and not doing all these things, that's what builds this fireball of anxiety and starts to really stress you out. And if you just go do something real quick, go just pick one of those tasks instantly, even if it's not the right one, pick one, go do it. You're gonna get a little bit more stressed out right as you do it, and then you're gonna get into that flow state, and it's kind of gonna smooth out. And you're like, okay, it's good. On to the next thing. Pick something else. Even if it's not the right order, let's just get it done. Even if it takes a little bit longer, let's just get it done. Because it's gonna take even longer if you don't do it. So don't worry about not doing it right. Don't worry about not doing it perfectly. Eventually you will. You know, eventually you want to be more precise and want to keep, you know, cross your T's and dot your I's and keep things on track. but you're not going to just go from level 0 to level 200. You gotta walk up the ladder. And that's not me saying, oh, wait your turn, buddy. It's just how it works. You don't want to burn yourself out, you in the sense that you don't want to start doing all this stuff, overwork your nervous system, be tired as fuck, not be sleeping enough, not be eating properly, and then you end up going back to your old habits. Like, you have to push yourself. That's the only way you're going to grow. That's the only way your nervous system is going to be able to take on this extra pressure. But at the same time, you have to do it in steps. And don't be like, oh, well, I'll just do 1% each day, and that'll make it work out. Like don't undersell yourself. Don't underwork yourself just because you don't want to overwork yourself. Just do more. And as soon as it starts to get to a point where you're like, you feel like adrenal fatigue and you feel this systemic fatigue really coming on, you can say, okay, what are some, is this fatigue coming on because I've added on a few too many things that I probably shouldn't have? Or is this fatigue coming on because I'm just pushing myself so hard? Or is this fatigue coming on because I'm just not sleeping enough? Analyze and be real with it. And before you do make a choice when it comes to this specifically, first thing I always say, start sleeping more. Analyze your sleep. How many hours of sleep are you actually getting? And it's going to take, if you've been sleep depriving yourself for a long time, you've built up that sleep debt, it might take a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks to rebuild that, rebuild yourself and to drain that adrenal fatigue and to kind of reset your cortisol and to get yourself back going. You can use things like ashwagandha to help that, to control your cortisol. Not only does ashwagandha lower your cortisol, but it's also going to help increase it if it gets too low. It's more of a cortisol modulator. And people talk about, oh, you don't want to take too much of that stuff, it's going to make you numb. Like, the deal with ashwagandha is, if you take too much and it starts to make you really emotionally numb, dude, just stop taking it for a little bit and then try it again. Lower your dose. You don't have to be macro or mega dosing it all the time. You can find a balance. Go on, there's so many different supplements that you can use that will help improve this adrenal fatigue and to help push you even more. Like, you can start taking omega-3s, start taking B vitamins, dude. Your body functions on B vitamins. If you don't have enough vitamin B1, your body's not only not able to produce enough stomach acid, but your body also needs stomach acid to absorb vitamin B1. So they kind of work on top of each other. And then if you don't have enough vitamin B1, that will give you restless leg syndrome. That'll sort of give you some brain fog, make your body sore. That'll give you all kinds of issues. Affect with nutrient absorption. I mean, if you're, the macronutrients are very important, but so are the micronutrients. And all these little things really do add up together and can make such a big change. Dude, and then you go stack that on top of cleaning up your mind, cleaning up your room, dieting, gym, fixing your car. Dude, will make you feel unstoppable. Like, so much better than you ever could have imagined. And I know in the past, you've had times where as soon as life started to get good, something fucking hit the wall, shit hit the wall, and then everything got fucked up. And you feel like if life gets too good, then it's gonna tear me down. And you don't. It's almost like sometimes you fear success because you fear it's gonna be taken away from you. But that's not a way to live. You can't fear that. You can't not do something and not strive for something because you fear that you're going to lose it. Sometimes in life you're going to lose things, and sometimes they're going to go away. And that's just how it is. But regardless, you still need to push for more and more and more. You're never going to get yourself to a position where you can really appreciate that success, and you can really find what success means to you, unless you do it, unless you accept it, unless you accept the hurt that comes along the way that's going to make you grow. You're never going to make it through unless you do that. I've been trying to keep these videos a little shorter, but what are we going on? Almost about 30 minutes now. But I get into these topics, and it's like, there's so much. I mean, there's so many things I've learned in life that are completely changed my reality in compared to how I used to think of things. You know, when I was in high school, I just kind of walked around clueless, space brain. You know, everyone knew me as, you know, oh, Kieran's retarded. He's just stupid. I always called myself, oh, I'm retarded, I'm stupid. And I'd tell myself that so often that it started to become true. And it was like I literally became a retard. Like, I had no spatial awareness. I didn't know what was going on with me. I thought I was stupid. I couldn't comprehend anything, always being brain foggy, because I told myself that that's who I was. Because I listened to other people tell me that that's who I was. And that's who I identified as. I identified as who other people told me I identified as. Not as who I am. Not for what I want to do. For the things I like. And as soon as I started identifying myself with who I am, a person that works hard, a person that does what they need to do, a person that is active, goes to the gym, a person that gets the car they want and drives it and enjoys it, I started to realize that, one, other people's opinions don't matter. It doesn't matter what they say, because you gotta find what's true to you. And I also realized that unless I start doing the things, I'm not gonna get there. And I would have never become that person unless I just started doing the things that I enjoy. And it literally will make you more stupid if you tell yourself all the time that you're stupid. It will make you more stupid if other people are always telling you that you're stupid. Because if you let that, as soon as you start to let that get into your mind, it literally brings your mind down. The great thing is, you can recover that. You can bring that back. You can learn more. But you can't do that if you don't start, and you don't try, and you don't push, and you don't do things to make life better, to improve yourself. You can't do it unless you do it. Like, you can't think it into happening. Manifestation is great. Writing things down is great. Journaling is great. Sitting in an empty room with no noise, staring at a wall for hours sometimes is fucking amazing. You can think so much and learn so much about yourself. And sometimes those things are things that you do need to do. But not all the time. You can't only do that. That's not actually going to get you there. That's not actually going to do the thing. The only thing that's going to do the thing is doing the thing. I could have thought about recording this video all morning. But I didn't. The video wasn't going to get recorded and wasn't going to get uploaded. It wasn't going to get posted. You weren't going to see this video until I clicked that record button and started talking. You see what I'm saying? You can't do it. It won't happen until you do it. And you're not too far gone. You could be 100 pounds overweight. You could be 100 pounds underweight. You could be in pretty good shape right now and you just want to improve more. you're not too far gone. You can still make it work. Yeah, I mean, you really can. You can still push through whatever it is your struggle is, no matter what your situation is, no matter what the pressure is on you, no matter how hard your mind fights you, no matter what any voice in your head tells you. No matter what it is, you can still do something. And starting with something brings so much more. And that allows you to do more and more and more. And you're never going to know how far you could have gone unless you actually do that thing. You're never going to know how far you could have gone unless you actually do the thing. Unless you actually start going to the gym. Unless you actually start training harder, training longer, taking out your junk sets, taking out all the bags of Doritos, taking out all the candy, all the Twizzlers. Instead of going and getting a huge bag of Skittles and Sour Patch Kids for your intra-workout snack, maybe you want to have a thing of sour strips once a month at the gym. Okay, A-okay. Switch that up, but all these other things, switch that out for something like some protein powder and some dextrose, and sip on that while you work out, just to keep some carbs going and to keep you having protein and to keep you having energy.